And here's what's unique. In our secular society today, we don't look to religious leaders to give us answers on what life and death is all about. Instead, what we have done today, and as pastors and as Christians, we need to identify these thoughts and really show how the gospel is better, is we look to philosophers and to therapists to give us answers. And so I want us, for the next few moments, I want to highlight for you a few of those thinkers that may be steering your life today more than you think. Number one is Sigmund Freud. You ever heard of him before? If you took philosophy one time, you're like, of course I know Sigmund Freud, okay? So Sigmund Freud, I'm not going to give a whole history lesson on who he is. We're here for the Bible, not a history lesson on that. But essentially, here's his message. Unbridled sexual expression makes the most of your time on earth. Now, do you think some people are following this today? Now, here's the reality. Here's the ideology. Again, when we talk about this, we're not talking about it in a condemning way or saying how dumb that you believe this. We're just saying this is in the air. If you're not following Jesus, you have to follow something else. And maybe for you, this makes the most sense. But for this kind of thought is to ever hold back sexual expression is to completely waste your life. Even so, Sigmund Freud even really talks a lot about kids, which is deeply disturbing. He says even at a young age, they need to explore their sexuality. Friends, do we not see that happening today? And you and I are shocked. Why would you teach a kindergartner this? Why would you teach a second grader this? This is their ideology. This is maybe your belief. This is what makes life work. Even at a young age, it says, don't waste my time. My time here is short, therefore I need to engage in sexuality and all that I can. And here's what happens. See, in the Bible, sex is a good desire. But in this kind of ideology, it's not a desire, it's the defining mark of my life. In fact, we're not going to read it, but verse 32 here in chapter 15, Paul kind of alludes to this kind of thinking. He talks about those who say, let's eat, drink, let's have lots of sex, because tomorrow we die. Because time is short, let's do whatever we want. And in this ideology, and maybe you've been believing it, and I hope today you repent and turn from it, this is the idea that you've been sold, and let me tell you, it's just hevel. This idea is sex, not holiness, is the foundation to happiness. If you just engage in sex however you'd like, this will make you a fulfilled person. And friends, time and time again, we see this is not enough. What else? Everybody else's favorite thinker, Karl Marx. We'd talk about at Easter today. Karl Marx, what church do you go to? Here's Karl Marx. In fact, I read a book recently, and it's talking about how most of us, this might very disturb you, but some of us, we're more Marxist than we even like to admit, because here's Marx's main ideology that before him, we didn't really believe, but now it's pervasive in our culture today. Your chances for happiness are at the mercy of politics. If your life is dramatically changed because of who's president, you're kind of a Marxist. This idea. Now, do politics matter? I think they're a gift. I think it's good, all this stuff. I try to stay out of it here in the pulpit. We just talk about whatever the Bible has for us to say. But here's what I mean by this, is this idea. Now, those who really take him far say, okay, we need to move. Okay, chance is bad. We sing all these people deal with the heartache of life. And honestly, it's people just trying to find an answer. It's saying, okay, we need to stop doing equality of opportunity, which is a huge foundation of America. Now we need equality of outcome. We need to make sure everybody gets the same thing. But read your history books. That never really works out, does it? But again, we have to see this maybe has from a good heart. You recognize time is an enemy, but so is chance. How can we mitigate the chance? But friends, anytime you try to mitigate chance outside of Christ, it is just hevel. It's useless. It's vain. This idea here is, look, you can't be happy as long as that person's in charge, as long as that political party has won. Here's the idea. This is what they say. The economic system, not our sinful flesh, is what is oppressing us. If we just change the system, then we'll be happy. Friends, you need to repent from your sin and turn to Christ, and that is the pathway to holiness and a life in abundance. Now again, I want us to make sure I'm not presenting this in a condemning way to say, how dare you would ever believe this? I'm saying, look, if Jesus didn't resurrect, this is the best options we have. But the tomb is empty. And we got way better options than what I'm showing you. Let me show you one more. Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche says this. He says, escape the despair of death by living your most authentic life. And I think as Christians, this is the one we're most prone to believe. This one kind of goes in under the radar. We kind of adopt it as Christians. Say, yeah, I'm here to be me. God made me the way I am. In all my sin, it's okay. God thinks it's cute. I'm me, and it's amazing, right? There's this idea, and it's really here. Don't have a pastor tell you what to do. No, if a pastor is overbearing like that, you better go to another church, which I'm not like that anyways. But, if you watch out, don't let an institution shape you. Be whoever you want to be. And so this idea is don't fear death. Fear not living life. To truly live life, you need to do you, boo. This is the idea of Nietzsche. Again, if I was to boil it down, it would say, okay, here's the mantra of today. And I hope you connect the dots. We're seeing this everywhere in culture. And I want us to have compassion on those who are pursuing this and have sorrow and to preach Jesus to these people. Look, this is the line, become whoever and whatever you, not God, want you to be. Become whoever you want to be, not how God designed you, not how God created you. Don't go on this path of exploration saying, God, what did you ordain in my life? No, instead, he has this whole book about the death of God. He's saying, okay, God is dead. We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about you ordain your own life. Who are you going to be? The possibilities are endless. Friends, it's not. It's hevel. Without Jesus, it's all hevel. And we're finding out. And I think we're seeing why society is unraveling. These guys are letting us down. They're hurting our children. They're hurting us. And if you actually study some history, you find out they let themselves down. Freud, for example, he tried to cover up the many suicides within his own family. I don't say that to gloat. I say that with sorrow. Marx was all about the economic system, and yet he finished his life in absolute poverty. Never got to the happiness he thought he needed. Nietzsche, literally the last decade of his life, everyone declared him insane. And here's the thing. People are running, they may not say, I follow Marx, I follow Nietzsche, I follow Freud, but that's the way they're living their life. And it may be the way you're living your life. And I'm here to tell you, if Jesus didn't rise again, this kind of are our best options. But what if he did rise again?